I think most people still use centralized exchange. I would
Yep.
love when, like you're talking about DEXs, I would love when we have a side chain that is really able to do that kind of, that kind of service, a full DEX.
Yeah.
And I think that it also leads us to our next topic, which is a great use case for a side chain. Maybe you guys wanna start about it. Which
Oh, sure.
one?
Sure. I
The
think
arc
that's
one,
a
the Ray
Rob
one.
thing. He'll
Yeah,
start.
yes, because I'm pretty excited about it because it kind of demonstrates like what we're talking about. So Circle came out with the Arc blockchain, right? And so it is a single blockchain that uses their USDC as the fee token, and it's a blockchain. It's a layer one blockchain, and its stablecoin is the utility. You can put other utility on it, and then to connect to other things, they were going to rely on bridges. But the entire point that we've been kind of
Woo, bridge,
yeah, right.
woo.
So because they don't have a technology that isn't that right now, right? But it kind of like just demonstrates what we've been saying for like a year now is that the future is layer one blockchains that have their own utility and that connect to other blockchains. It is the best way to scale this whole industry. Now the Divi Sidechain technology allows those blockchains to talk without bridges. Like that's super important. But just the important part here is that you have a stable coin. It's its own blockchain. It's exactly the kind of concept that we're talking about here. Everything can be a layer one blockchain. The industry scales when everything is decoupled from each other. And that's key there.
Right. I think that,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And I think that it is really showing how so imagine like a company like Circle, because this is Arc blockchain, right? That you were talking about.
Right.
And that's the Circle, who is the company that does USDC, that decided to make that chain. And basically a company like that has to maintain more than a dozen, like I don't know exactly the number of chains they support, but a ton of different smart contracts. They have to handle the liquidity behind that. And I mean, even if you have this semi-automated, it's still a huge work. It's still prone to error. And it is not at all an efficient architecture to be able to serve multiple layer ones. And so having a chain that is now able to connect to other chains is a huge time saver, a much more simple architecture model, and a lot less prone to error, obviously. So, of course, they have to rely on smart contract for the connection. So right now is not great either. But with the kind of technology that we bring with our partner, we basically enable that model fully trustless, right? From that chain that offers the service to the chain that is being served, it is a fully trustless connection.
Yeah.
And I think it will completely, as you mentioned, Rob, right? It will completely change the way the infrastructure is built between blockchains and how services are rendered and even how you see it financially, how you see a blockchain financial prospect, right? It changes completely. Like why you're doing it, it really makes sense when you focus on the service that it will just render and how many chains it will serve, basically.
Yeah, it really changes our industry to all of this utility that to be connected by steel rather than the kind of duct tape and rope bridges that it is today. And so I think it's a good path forward. I'm happy they're doing it, and I'm looking forward to like more and more demonstration of individual blockchains. Now, there's another one, right, which is called Rain, and so they basically said, "Hey, if you want to build a stablecoin, do that on our chain." So it's basically an RWA chain, and there's other RWA chains. Plume's another big one. Chintai's another one, and that's all it basically is. And they got millions and millions of dollars to create an RWA chain, which drives me crazy. But we're entering an era. I hope we also leave the era. I just don't like the outcome, where there's going to be dozens and dozens or hundreds of stable coins. And in fact, in the Divi ecosystem, when we have side chains, we can make people can get together, raise money, and have a stable coin. It just means like put $100,000 somewhere, make $100,000 worth of a stablecoin asset. Maybe it's a penny. And now what's cool is like within an ecosystem that is directly connected, like we're proposing, you can have things that are work against either the fee coin or a stable coin. And like
Correct.
it'll be a lively, vibrant, albeit it'll start out a small economy, but it's doable.